Hi, so welcome to another class sa GAMPRG1. So there's really nothing much na to teach here. Ang gagawin ko na lang is to give some tips and also maybe teach a bit of stuff na uh, wala talaga. Like example, see mga components, tsaka yung material. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So may nag-work na ba sa health component? May gumawa na ba ng health component? Kinda. Okay. Anong ginamit nyo? Like, did you just give the zombie and the player like a health na float variable? Okay. Sige. Insert. Okay. There's another way kasi to do it. So, here's the idea. Right now, uh, sige. Right now we have the player, right? And then we have the enemy. If the player damages the enemy, yung health niya babawas. So, HP niya will be minus. Kapag yung HP niya is equal to 0, may call siyang dead or a basta mamatay siya, right? And same thing with player. Kapag si enemy naman nag-attack kay player, HP niya babawas. Kapag HP niya is equal to 0, dead rin. Pero may mga additional pa si player. Meron siyang also HP, makakuha pa siya ng HP by getting yung med kit, right? So, kapag may med kit, makakuha siya ng health. But, itong part na to, this, pagka-damage, as kapag malapit na mamatay, kapag mamatay na siya, may mangyayari, essentially, are the same thing. They do the same thing for both of them. But the problem is, if we gave si player at saka si enemy ng health, you're doing two separate things. Si player may sarili siyang HP, si enemy may sarili siyang HP. Tapos si player uh, check niya kung zero na yung health niya, then he'll call dead. Si enemy may sarili siyang ganyan. You're like doing two things that are really the same thing. So why not we have them just as one as one component, right? Hence, it is better to use a health component here. That way, both will have HP tsaka kapag dead na function, and both can utilize it, and then you can easily call it sa blueprints. There are lots of advantages of having it in the same component, right? Kasi mahirap pa okay. Like example, let's say yung enemy ko, let's move this. May health siya dito. May health. Whether it be a float or a int. And si player rin. Si player, meron siyang health. Uh, Health. Okay. So the problem is, kapag si enemy, if he will damage si player, saan ko nilagay? I think dito. If he will damage si player, he will get yung target, nag-crash. Hold on. Give me a second. Ayan. So, balik ulit. Okay, captor. Kapag dinamage niya si player, he will get his health pa, or or if either that or si player may may sarili siyang may sarili siyang function. Same bananas. Let's say take damage where babawas siya base sa value na binigay. So something like this, right? So meron siyang take damage, right? The thing is, you have to do that na rin sa zombie, diba? Kasi kapag na-damage si zombie from the projectile, I have to create also take damage. And it's essentially the same thing. I have to do the input, put a value, and then minus it. Tapos dito, I'll call again, take damage. So sobrang hassle. I had to create two um two functions that are essentially the same thing. It's just that the HP mismo is in separate in different kinds of different kinds of uh characters. Now, I could choose to create a character that both will inherit like si unit. Pwede yun, but uh pwede siya. Pwede siya, it's just a bit hassle rin. What if I want something different? Like, iba yung mga stuff niya dito. And then, it gets a bit complicated. So, that is also one thing naman. You can create you create your own character for both of them to inherit. Or, you can simply just create a component. Now, to create a component, oh wait, so far, any questions? Gets naman yung why there's something off with having two different kinds of HP on uh, two different characters. Kasi not only that, si player, gagawa ka rin ng uh, heal. Gagawa ka ng heal, and then same thing, value, oops, value, and then ito naman plus sa health. Ayan. And same thing, si take damage, di ba makaroon ng on death. You see how hassle it is. If health is equal to, or see, not health equal to, less than or equal to 0, crash. If health is less than or equal to 0, I will call on death. And I have to do that also for the other one. Do you see how hassle it is? Parang repetitive lang. So that's one thing that is being taught here under the principles of yung mga coding principles. If you're doing the same thing in multiple classes, might as well have it in one thing or in component. In this case, component. Yeah. So again, see take damage. If health is less than or equal to 0, I will call on death. And then same thing rin sa zombie. If less than equal to 0, I will call. I have to create a function on death. And then call it here. So I hope you understand why it's a bit hassle having two different kinds of HP. So to solve that, we create a component. So if I right click blueprint class, there is a button here called actor component, which is a reusable component that can be added to any actor. So I'll call this the health component. Now, what will health component have? It will have its health, pwede float, pwede max health, sure. Then you have the take damage, heal. You could have a on death here. You could even have an event dispatcher. Uh, on know. Let's call this death. Death. I want to call this on death. Right? So take damage, same thing. It will have been like value. Let's set here. Minus. We can actually improve this more by clamping it. This way, if nag-negative yung value, 0 is higher than the negative value. So it will return 0. And same thing. If less than or equal to branch, I will call death. Okay? So that's the take damage. Heal. You have also the value. And then we just have to add them together. Then we can also set yung cap niya. So minimum. So bakit minimum? If lagpas yung current health sa oh no. If lagpas yung current health sa max health, it will use yung max health instead. Now excuse yung crash. I have yet to understand bakit ganun. So where did I? No. Hold on. Maybe we can just copy. Load value. Tapos kung less than equal to 0, we call death. And heal would have been the same thing. Ay, yung sa take damage, we can do this nga pala. Max. And then this one will be min. Oops. Value. And then I'll get the minimum. Again, the minimum because if current health is less than the max health, it will just use max health instead. Alright. Now, ito, si death. When death is called, I want to call my event dispatcher on death. Pwede naman siyang empty lang. Unless you want to add yung character. Ay, yung kung anong character yun. Pwede naman. Character. And kung character to is the owning. Is there owning? Pwede naman. Pwede naman to get owner then cast to character. This should still work pa rin. Okay? So, pag namatay si player, kapag namatay yung whoever's having this health component, it'll call on death. So, let's test this out. I will print string yung health niya. Then, on si projectile, sorry. Sa zombie, lagyan natin ng health component. To add it, you add component and just type your health component. Then, immediately, nandito na siya. We can set the health to 100. We could actually improve this pa, pero anyway. And then, in here, we will have to first get the health component. And then see take damage. Ooh. Hold on. Ayan, may health component pa rin. Then si projectile, I'll get my health component. And then the tick damage. And I'll use itong si value. So to test it out, I will hit my enemy. Ayan, makita mo, bumabawas yung health. Right. Same thing rin sa zombie. On here, instead of like getting using take damage, we can call the health component. Ay, wala pa. We add again. Add a health component here with 100. And then, just like sa projectile, we get their health component. Then we can call take damage. Test that out. Let me just change lang my controls. We have move forward. And move forward. So I'll go near him. Ayan, then damage ako. 60, 50, 40, 30. So, we are both using the same components and we're both using the same functions of that component. We can delete this already sa mga characters natin. See, take damage on heal. Same thing sa zombie because we have it already in our health component. So essentially we're using the same component. Now remember our event dispatcher on death. We could actually call that by right-clicking, add event on death. I am able to use the event dispatcher and use it as an event, which will make it explode. Yeah, I will just up the damage here to maybe 20. And test it out. 60, 40, 20. Ayan. Namatay siya. So we are using the event dispatcher that we created on our component we are using it to do whatever we need to do for our characters wherever we're using the health component. So same thing here is a player. Kapag namatay siya, where do I have? Kung may code ako dito. Wala. Sige, I'll just print string. Print string hello. So if I go near him and take damage until mag-zero yung health ko, ayan, nag-hello na. Right? So that's the use of components. So if you've been using Unity, it's the same thing. So Unity kasi, they work with components. Everything is a component. So you just keep adding it. So it's the same idea. We create our own component. We, like itong si health, we do the the logic here in the health component. So pag take damage, may kinaklamp pa, pag heal, ayun. Tapos pag death, meron tayo dito. Gets naman? So, in case you wait lang. Let me see if this works. There's also a way to get the health component here. Health. Get health. Oh, health. In case na you don't want to check for the zombie, you should be able to get yung components niya. Ayan. Get component by class. So if the actor has a health component, I could use that to take damage. As long as my health component siya, I will call take damage. So this is useful. This time, it's not only enemy, but lahat ng mga may health component. So to test it out, ayan. Tinatawag pa rin siya. As long as may health component siya. Okay? So this is really powerful. Same, kasi what if you wanna go PvP? May player din na may health. Right? What would happen if we just did the cast to zombie? Hold on. So what if lang nagkaroon bigla ng PvP? So not only are we gonna check cast if it is a zombie, cast to where's my zombie? Zombie? What's it called? Wait. Hold on. Compile zombie. Ayan. Cast to zombie. So what would you have done was like health component. Health component. Wait. Get health component. What's happened? Right? So we would have done this. Tapos, kung makaroon ba ng PvP, we would have like kapag nag-fail yung cast, we check now kung si player yon. Uh, kung si player ba yon. And then we use also the health component. Get health component. And did that. Right? So it's a bit messy because we're just kasi we're like trying to cast it pa to its respective kung zombie bar hero, then we get the health component. So instead of that, we could just have done get component by class. You should see health component and straight up just take damage. All right. Gets naman. No questions here. None so far. All right. So that's one that you could use for your for your outbreak. So we could also try to improve this better naman by having max health, BC health, or maybe other see pwede naman other way around. We set our health to be max health and then we make this to private. So if we do that, if you check our zombie, nawala na yung current health. Naka-private siya eh. Kung ayaw mo yun, we can just make it to read only. It's here. Hold on. Nandito ba? Wala. You cannot just hide it lang. Ako may way eh. But anyway. So this way, you don't have to edit both of the current and max health. You just have max health here and then pag start ng game, yung health niya will be equal to that max health. Alright? No questions? All good? So again, to create a component, blueprint class, actor component. And Matic. Matic na yan. Lalabas, you can add it as a component. See? Right now, I have new blueprint as my component. Now, see buff, don't mind this. Gawa ko lang to. But I used a component to handle the buffs. You don't have to naman. So no need, you don't have to copy this. Okay. So no questions. All good. If there are no questions, sir, what does the max and min do again? Okay, so see max and min, if given values, we can have more values here. If given all these values, it will get the minimum value from all the choices. So in this case, if my health is higher than my max health, I will use si max health. Likewise, if si health naman is lower than my max health, I will use health. Okay, it's just just to clamp it. And then the same thing, let me just remove pin. Same thing with si max. Same thing with the max. If given all the values, it will choose the highest value possible. Now, If the health is higher than 0 after taking damage, it will use health. But if the health is lower than 0, negative na siya. 0 is higher than the negative numbers. So, it will use 0 instead para mag-clamp siya. Okay? If answer is um yun lang naman. Yun lang naman for component. Any questions? Okay. So, no questions. I will just teach you a bit about materials. So, how do we change yung mga materials ng uh, characters natin? Kasi you would notice that I have a green character. I also have an orange character. This is what I used for uh, the enemies. So let's create a new material. Test material. It's gonna be a bit confusing, pero if you go to GAMPRG, I think nagturo si Sir David na to. May nakapag-grapag ba dito? Graphics programming? Soon. Okay. Ano kung ituturo ni Sir to? Especially sa Unreal. Okay. So, here is my material. Material is the one placed on sa mga meshes to give its color, shade, mga ganun. So, ito yung material. Right now, black siya. And this is all the options I have with materials. Base color, metallic. Si base color, technically, basically kung anong color niya. Metallic, how shiny. Ay, sorry, no. How metallic like your surface would be. Si roughness is how shiny it is. Emissive color is glow lang. Glow lang of your mesh. Normal if you want to give some depth to your mesh, you use normal. Ito yung mga offset nito. You could kind of use it, not always. Tangent, hindi ko lang ginagamit. So, si base color, kahit anong color, right? So, if I have a vector of, let's say, red or pink, pink lalabas. Pink yung mesh mo. Magiging pink yung mesh mo. Kapag blue, blue yung mesh mo. If naging sample, wait lang, sample, texture sample. If you use a picture, let's say I have a picture of my crosshair. I'm not sure if this will work. Hindi. Picture, eto medkit. Ayan. If I use a picture and this is my base color, ito yung nakalabasan niya. So kapag circle, mukhang weird. Kasi it's based on yung mga UV. Yung UV na to. If you went through Sir KG's 3D Bass, Cam 3D Bass, ayan. If you remember UV. So this is why ganito siya. Or kapag cylinder, ayun. Yung box kasi, isa lang yung ano eh. Isa lang UV niya. And it shares to all these sides. Then, si metallic, I could choose to have a float. Make No, not float. Float? Vector? Hold on. One. Float. Uh, I think it is the part medyo confusing sometimes. You have to find the right uh function here. Your float one. Oh my god. So I will search lang. Material. Constant. Si constant, it is basically just a float if I have one. Kasi 0 to 1 lang to eh. Makita nyo, uh, nothing much changes rin. Pero kapag 0, it becomes a bit dull. Hindi kita. Ano kung base color? Pink. If metallic is 1, ayan. It changes the color. Parang naging metal siya. Hindi yata kita sa white and green kasi white is a bit, uh, it's just white lang eh. Hindi siya nag-change masyado ng kulay. Pero any other color, like si blue, kapag ginawa kong metallic, ayan. Iba siya sa ano iba siya sa smoothness. So, if 1, makita mo, it's not bouncing much light at all. Hindi, mukha siyang rough lang or I think it looks more of like a matte. Pero kung 0 siya, na smooth, mukha na siyang glass. So, it really depends. So, if you want your enemy to be glass, ayun, make this to 0. You can go in between if you want. 5. If you go beyond, it doesn't really change anything. Same thing with kapag negatives. It's really just 0 to 1 lang. Alright. So how do we use this? I have my test material here, right? Let's say see which. See which, if you go to the mesh, makita mo you have mesh and materials. So, if I go here and search my test material, yan, mukha na siyang blue whatever. Nagsishine-shine pa siya. Nagsisparkle-sparkle. Kasi, sinet ko yung smoothness niya to just 0.5. I think the chest logo, if I do test material, ayan, nawawala siya. Nag-blend na siya. The thing is, the only reason why it became green again, because I did some other stuff in my the base class, which is I change the body color lang to a certain color. Depende sa anong sinet ko dito, body color. But you don't have to do this. You could simply just remove this part. That is fine. We will just change it by to here lang. Test material. Ayan. Pwede na to. Okay lang ganyan. You don't have to do what I did. That is just some extra stuff. Alright? Basically, that's it lang for for our material. I won't really go too deep into here. I just want to show you lang how you can change the colors and you can use it for your characters in case you want to use it. Because you can simply just have a a texture instead. So texture sample, texture sample, and then I will set the texture of the zombie there. It really depends. So in case you get a ito. In case you get online yung mga characters nyo, you could actually um, do something with yung binigay na material. So we have this right. Uh, all of this. Well, this really depends. Do I have here? No, it's the same thing. Mm, hold on. Baka may makuha kong texture somewhere. How about the vehicle? Texture, meshes. Ayan. What if ito yung base material niya, may it's the same thing. It doesn't have any texture. But anyway, kung ganito siya, or let's say kumuha siya ng texture, like yung kanina sa texture sample, we can simply multiply. If you multiply it with another color, let's say red, and use it as the base color, it will. I mean, if you work with Photoshop, parang ganun. Parang i-multiply niya yung mga values ng ito to the whatever you have here. So kapag blue, ayan, magiging blue siya. So if you go back to our test material, in case na may texture sample siya of I don't know. So usually parang ganito siya. If you multiply with another color, with vector, let's say blue, magiging blue yung likod niya. Tapos, whatever yung kulay ng andito, it will be affected. Right? Because since it's not white, it's like it's orange or something, iba yung kalabasan niya. So I'll show you what happens with like the others, like system. From yellow, ito yung original niya, naging parang green. Because yellow plus blue is yellow plus blue, you have it with green. So if you have yellow plus purple, you'll have like red or pink. Alright? So that's how it works. So kung may gumamit kayo ng mesh and materials from outside, you can change the color by simply multiplying it. Okay? So itong RGB, you don't really have to use it. Is if you want to be specific with some stuff. Alright? Very short lang. Very short for this material. You'll learn more from Sir David. Ayan, God siya. He's the god of graphics programming. You learn a lot from him. He'll also teach you how to do this in Unreal and maybe also in Unity. Depends. So Unity lang. Unity, I think right now you use you're able to use something like this. Recently lang ginawa nila. I forgot what it's called, but same concept. It uses also like base color, occlusion. Yeah, for sure it has metallic and roughness. May ganun yan. Okay. See emissive, if you want to see how emissive works, if I put it here as emissive, you'll see it has a faint orange. It looks like it's just everywhere, medyo faint. But if I multiply this with a float of, let's say, 500, you'll notice that it actually starts glowing. So, paano kung ginamit natin si texture sample? It just starts glowing. We can lower it siguro by 5. Or if you just want ito yung mga ano, itong parts. No, I think it's alpha. No, it's not alpha. Blue. So if I multiply this by 50, eesh, not that great. Ayun lang. If you want to put emissive. This glow though does not have any actual light. Wala siyang light at all in game. It is just in the material. I'll show you by having a cube here. Crash. If I have a cube, where's my map? Let's say this cube, lagyan natin ng material, yung test material. We didn't save. Material. Let's give it a texture sample of yung pistol. And then an emissive of vector. Multiply. With vector and a constant. Make it bigger. 100. Ayan. So it looks like it's glowing, right? In our perspective. But actually, apply. It's not giving its own light. It is just there lang. Ayan. Makita mo, para siyang, it's just glowing lang. That's it. It's not giving its own light. Like, if you put light here. Right. Ito, makita mo may light. May light ito eh. Ito wala. Wala at all. You could fake it. You could always fake it naman using an actor. Pero emissive color does not give off any light at all. Okay? So again, you can just simply change the color by multiplying. Or just directly place it in there. Kung wala kang texture at all. No questions? All good? Alright. You can play around with this naman if you want. Up to you. But don't take too much time. Mas important pa na tapusin nyo yung project nyo. So I hope yung components it will help you when you do your project and materials, since we're about to reach yung mga zombies. Ayan. At least now you know how to change yung mga colors nila. Right? So, if there are no questions, again, feel free to message me or stay behind if you have a question na hindi related sa class. So that's it lang for today. You guys can have your night. Bye-bye. Alright, ingat kayo. Sige, sige, we can consult naman. Yeah, okay. You want here or sa ano, Discord na lang? Sige, sige, sige. I'll meet you there na lang sa consultation room.
Hello?
Yes.
Wait lang. Gusto ko lang pa-check kung tama yung ginagawa. Hindi ko nag-lagyan na headphone phone dun sa akin. So, baka hindi ko na lang yun. Tapos ng pansan.
Ano, ano, ano? Ano yan?
Yung hindi ko pa nagagawa yung health change. Ginawa ko lang din sa
Ah,
float. Sa float
that's
ko.
okay lang, okay lang.
Ah,
You can still